Welcome back to Day Trade Like a Pro. It is April 8th. This is the review for the S&P 500, and let's jump over and look at a chart here. So this is just a real simple 5-minute chart, and I've covered this a bunch of different times, but I'll just say something about it right now. So I don't use the typical red and green color scheme of most of what traders look at. So I'm basically I use yellow for my up bars, blue for my down bars, and there's some studies and some evidence that would suggest not having red, at least at a minimum, not having red for your down bars would be a good idea for most traders. So um, let's look at the chart. So this morning when we started, let's go back to where we were this morning prior to the market opening. So right here, if you remember in the pre-market video, I basically said I'd really like to see it come down to where? Down to this 75 area, kind of at a minimum. I think it said 75 quarter. We definitely talked about 75 quarter in our map service. But we said we had this KP down here, which was at 73 quarter, and then remember we said probably giving it a little bit more room down here just because there were still targets and a breakdown would be pretty major. And so we were definitely looking for the buyers to step in. So at a minimum, a pullback to this 75. I think we said 75 quarter, 75, and then 73 quarter, maybe down to here, but then that would really need to be it. And otherwise, it was like back into the 40s. So pretty major breakdown there. So what ended up happening? And then if you remember, we had key turns, which is a indicator that is available through Day Trade Like a Pro. If you remember, we had key turns at 99. So let's just look at what happened here today. And here's the opening. The market pulled back down here. Notice this is a bit of a congestion area. Market pulls back down here. We've got 75 half on this first move down right here, and then 75 quarter. So came down, touched 75 quarter, came back up to 79, and then yeah, right here 82 quarter. And map we said needed to get back up above this, and it didn't. So it came within 2 ticks of this. So it came within 1 tick of this KP and then 2 ticks of this KP, which was about 8 points on that move right there. So plenty of room for profit here. And then it came down and it touched the KP down here at 73 quarter, and it never looked back after that. I mean, we never even came back down to test 75 after that. So great buy opportunity here. Literally, if you bought the KP, which I would say buy a little bit in front of that, but if you bought the KP, you took 1 tick of heat. So maybe you took 2 or 3 ticks of heat. Pretty great entry into that trade. And then I don't recall if we talked about this. We did definitely talk about it in MAP, which was we said that 78. Let me see if I can just see what we talked about in MAP. So we talked about 78 quarter, 78, 75, that area. So they pulled back into that area after breaking out. It pulled back over here, 78 quarter, right there. And then pretty interesting, stayed in this congestion area for quite some time, came back. The KP here was 82.75. This came 2 ticks below the KP. And then once they got up above the CP, this was 85.75 at the CP and 84.75. So came 4 ticks below that, which is really totally fine. And then the high intraday was 98 half, and the current all-time high is 99. In other words, that key turns to the tick. So pretty useful stuff there. And so there you have that is this move up there. So what were the trades for today? I was not selling anything. I didn't take any short positions. I have not traded short for days, probably, maybe since sometime last week. I've been buying. If you go back and watch all the videos that I've talked about, I've been saying still going higher, still going higher. And while I have not calculated prediction points yet for tomorrow, I am going to remain in that still going higher. So let's see if, okay, so let's remove the drawing tools. Let's get rid of the fibs. I want to show you one other thing as well on the NASDAQ. So, okay, removing the drawing objects. Okay, so over here, so some interesting things are happening with key turns. So key turns is starting to get bearish for sure. So you can see we've had all this to climb, and key turns is telling us market's starting to get weak, because key turns is technically saying if we don't get up above these, it's still for selling. Now we could get a really big push and go up above that, but it's just something I'm keeping an eye on. I haven't bet the farm on it or something. And I do think there's a bit more room. I think this initial push here, depending on how long it takes, 4102, depending on how long that takes, maybe we'll get a little bit more than that. But 4102, if it pushes a lot more than that, 4110, so something like that. Those would be the areas that I'd be looking for over here. Let's just do this for easy. Okay, this is GC, so we'll just switch this. Let's just go look at the NQ over here. I erased my NQ chart, so we've got to use this. We'll do this one. Okay, so got to rebuild my NQ chart. Okay, so look at how interesting this was on the NQ. Interesting is probably not the word that a lot of traders would have used to describe it today, but you can see what happened in Globex once it pushed up in here, right here, these two KPs. You had 750, and so it's about 55 points. And you can see once it pushed into there, it literally stayed in here. The entire RTH, it took until the close to push up through here. Pretty amazing. So it stayed within these two KPs. We literally posted these last night. You can go back and look at. We posted these last night. Actually, yesterday, I think right after the market closed, just for reference, so you can get a sense of it. So this was yesterday at 2:30 Pacific time, and these are the KPs. So we had 13,750 quarter and 13,696 quarter posted at 2:30 yesterday after the close. Okay, and then you can see it trades in between these all day long. To the tick right there and to the tick right there. And even here it probed a few points, and that was it. And it traded in the rest of the rest of the day. Anything up above here was definitely just you're buying any pullback for a move up. That's the trading today. If you're aggressive, you can trade it on the other side of that. And then of course they've been moving up, consistently moving up higher here. And I think I threw out a number in our NQ room. And I said NQ should go to 13,900 in the coming days. We'll see. So that would be up here, into that area, at a minimum. That's the target that I'm looking for on NQ. So that gives you an idea, and then here's YM. Good buy opportunity. This is the prediction point bias. Gave a good buy opportunity off of that. YM kind of just consistently moved up during the day. This is the RTY. The bias indicator liked going short on this today, which didn't really work out if you just blindly traded that, which I would never recommend anyway. And then Yeah, and then the ES. So here we are. Okay, so still pushing higher. So this will not be done until we're at a minimum. We can't even talk about it really pulling back until 41.02, and that's probably just for a pullback. We'll have to reevaluate things. So of course we'll be back in the morning, but at this point, hopefully you're starting to see the morning videos. We're going through the context, we're going through the story, we're telling you a plan. You can devise your plan around that. And at this point, if you're doing something that is against what we're talking about in the morning, I don't know how you're winning, because we have been absolutely spot on multiple times within a tick or two, or to the tick, on these, all-time highs, and also where you can get in on the high. So there you have it. There's the wrap up for today. We'll be back here in the morning. We'll do the pre-market walkthrough, and we will see how things play out overnight here. And again, probably not done going higher for right now. So we will see you in the morning. Thanks for tuning in. And if you have any questions, post them below. Or, of course, if you're in the Discord channel, post them in there. And if you haven't subscribed, if you will go subscribe right now, you'll get notified in the morning when we do these live pre-market videos. So you can plan your trading around that. Okay, we'll see you in the morning. Thanks for tuning in.